Yes, from the Northwest, Van City, oh desire, I like chillin', Monday night raw watching, me and Danny O at the Sky Dome when it's in town, my people's...
Choclair, always great speaking to you, my friend. I got to ask you something right off the top. What has been going on with you for the last 2-3 years? Because there seems to be a surge coming back in your career. It's not like you ever disappeared, but there seems to be something going on, man, where people can't get enough of what you've done back in the day and what you're doing today too, because nothing ever ends when it comes to Choclair. It just evolves, and you evolving, man, is really making an impact in the last couple of years. What is going on with you?
Well, like in the last little bit, it's like it's been. I was working like on a lot of just behind the scenes stuff, and then now I'm like. So people didn't know what I was actually doing, but I was actually influencing a lot of new artists and doing stuff with them. But then just by whatever, being around, going on the road, touring and doing stuff and whatever, people would just go and it's almost like that scene from Scarface where they say, every time I try to stay out, they just bring me right back in. And it's almost like that, because people just were always asking me about whatever. We need new music. We need new this. We need new that. And then over the time, I just went and started doing new music, and now here it is. So as we're setting up stuff, now there's new music coming out.
The last time I had a chance to see you was in Vancouver. It was on the red carpet at the Juno Awards. You weren't alone, my friend. Northern Touch. It was the celebration. Having all of you together. What was that like to walk the red carpet and basically walking and representing history from the groundbreaking artists who you worked with to getting that kind of reception from people going, they're back. We are so glad to see them. And even how people reacted towards you guys, too, when you were on stage.
Yeah, that was a very good situation. It's because that was one of the first times that all of us have gotten together. All of us with Northern Touch have gotten together, like all of us. So, like, sometimes I go out to Vancouver or whatever, and then I call up Red One or Misfit or Chemo, and then they come and they, come and do the show. But here is like me, Chemo, Checkmate, Thrust, Cardi, all of us at the same time. It was a big deal, and I'm glad that they looked at it as it was a big deal, because it is. It was like that song was like one of the. Like, it's one of the biggest, it's one of, like, how you like, life is a highway, I'ma ride it all night long. Like, that song is like one of those songs, like that's it. That's one of Canadian song history.
Ain't nobody can bang with us. Rascals, Checkmate, Cardi down the thrust. Choclair coming down with that Northern Touch. Why you people wanna bang with us? Ain't nobody can hang with us. Rascals, Checkmate, Cardi down the thrust. Choclair coming down with that Northern Touch. Yeah.
Much love to Jesse Reyes for having us go and be a part of her show and everything, on the Saturday night. And then we went and did the Junos on the Sunday night, and it was a great show, and I'm glad that people really took it. It was funny because some people thought they were like, oh, yeah, they just ran and took over the show. Like they thought that, it was like we just went and bum rushed the show, like Public Enemy.
No, you know what? Just so you know, man, the Junos actually let us know exactly everything was planned on what you guys did. And like I said, it was really a highlight for everybody. But there are more highlights that's happening now here in 2018, because as we speak, Canadian Music Week is happening. You are part of a huge showcase that's going to be going on. What's happening?
Yeah, so on this showcase here, it's one of the first times man, in like a while, I'm gonna be a part of like Canadian Music Week, and yeah, so it's gonna be like the first time in a while to be a part of Canadian Music Week, and yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be performing with Fox Williams. I'm gonna be over at the Smiling Buddha. It's gonna be a great night, and you know, it's gonna be good because. Sometimes I sit there and I go up on stage and I sit there and I tell people and I'll be like, oh, just in case you forgot.
I can stop. Look, nobody will ever forget. I mean, when you think about, like I said, we just talked about Northern Touch. We talk about Let's Ride. I mean, you are the groundbreaker. So you know, I've asked you this before, but I'll ask you again. Does it cross your mind, though, when you realize that a lot of the young artists that you're performing with now or you're working with now, A, they may not have been able to do what they're doing now if you and the rest did not do back in the day, and two, how much your music has influenced them to be able to do what they're doing today?
Well, you know what? I appreciate the credit, and yeah, I do think it. A lot of times, I don't really think about it so much until, like, most times, like, fans or just people go and actually mention it to me, because you're constantly always looking forward, so you're never really looking back. But then when you look back and you talk to people, and they, like, sit there and say, oh, this song was this, and this is that, and that is that. And sometimes then you start to realize, oh, my goodness, because when I look back at music that I was involved in or music that I loved, and then I'm like if I meet DJ Premier from Gangstar, or if he was still alive, if I met Biggie Smalls or you know, just people, you're like, oh my goodness, like, you know, like, you're like, I remember this song. I remember listening to Who Shot You from Biggie in a house party. I had to literally walk over to the DJ table, and you know how they did it back in the day, like, oh, yeah, in a basement party, so you could walk over to the DJ. It wasn't like he was up in some place, and I had to look at the record, and I was like, what record is this from? And it was the flip side of Biggie Smalls' big one there, One More Chance, the remix. So then when I talk to people, and when they sit there and they tell me stuff like this, it's like one of those things where I'm like, wow, I didn't really know I impacted them in that such a way type thing, you know?
It's an amazing thing, my friend. But look, you're not done yet, because from what I understand, as you said, you're working on music. You have something that could be coming out very soon. We're just not sure what the name is, but you do have new music happening.
Yes, it's called Soul of Redemption or Soul Redemption, but it's a brand new single. It's coming. We're getting it done. It's in its mixing and mastering stage, and plus other music as well. But yeah, like no more holding back. New music coming, and I think just me as growing and having the growth that I've had over the past, you know, few years, and working with new cats coming up and hearing their vibes and stuff like that, I think it's going to be very impactful. I think it's going to absolutely go and be an impactful track. And yeah, so that's coming like really soon, like really, really, really soon.
Look, I know you are busy because, of course, you got to be prepared for what's going to be coming up. But before we go, though, again, what advice can you give those young cats who have followed you, who hopefully will be part of maybe a legendary group or make their own mark? What advice can you give them today that helped you become the legend you are today?
I always just say, just be yourself. Be and do the music you want. Like, it doesn't have to be. You know, one person that I'm really I like a lot is Chaos, because Chaos, you would think, and CeeLo Green from Goody Mob, because they just do music that they just want to do. So they don't fall into like, okay, I'm this type of rapper, I'm this type of person, I'm this type of artist. They don't fall into that. They just do what they want to do. And I like that a lot because then they just do cool shit. Like, to be honest, they just do cool stuff. And I would just tell other artists, don't follow the trend, make the trend.
That's great advice, man. Great advice. And you just talked about two geniuses, too, so perfect advice. Look, like I said, I know I got to let you go, but to follow you, social media-wise, where do we go for Choclair?
Okay, so then you go to Choclair Official on Instagram, Choclair on Twitter, Choclair Official on Facebook, and Choclair Official on YouTube. So you could follow me everywhere. I'm not hard to find. I'm just hard to reach.
But we got you today, so that's all that matters. Look, like I said, congratulations with the success. I'm so glad to see you on that red carpet over at the GNOs in Vancouver. So great to know that you've got a showcase coming up for Canadian Music Week. And more importantly, man, you're not done. We got new music happening. Thank you for everything that you have done for Canadian music, my friend.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, we'll talk later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care, bro.
Checkmate, Cardinal and thrust. Choclair coming down with the northern touch. The northern touch, baby. Yeah. In your mode. Bubba side, baby.